Reserves his time. The gentleman from Michigan.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I would yield myself as much time as I may consume.
The gentleman is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I too want to compliment the members on our committee, both Republican and Democrat, not only in our subcommittee that Mr. Markey chairs, and I'm the ranking member, but also Chairman Waxman and Ranking Member Barton. This has been a multi-year effort. It really has. This bill is a product of that work. We've had a number of classified hearings and discussions and briefings over the last couple of years with members attending for hours at a time. We've had some public hearings as well, and this bill is a product of that, which is exactly why the bill passed out of full committee 47 to nothing on a roll call vote. The security of our nation's energy infrastructure from attack is one of the most important issues that this Congress might address this year. And it's not an issue that we can take lightly. Energy, as we know, electricity literally powers our economy in everything that we do. Even small price spikes and supply disruptions can wreak havoc on our economy for perhaps who knows how long. And it is imperative that the security of our nation's energy infrastructure gets all of the attention that it deserves. This legislation is a step in the right direction to protect our critical energy and defense infrastructure. Let me tell you a couple of things that this bill does. As it relates to cyber and electromagnetic weapons, it gives FERC the authority to establish standards to protect the bulk power system against vulnerabilities to malicious acts using electronic communications or electromagnetic weapons. Geomagnetic storms, the bill requires FERC to direct NERC to submit for approval a reliability standard under Section 215 to protect the bulk power infrastructure. And for large transformers, the bill requires FERC, again, to direct NERC to submit for approval a reliability standard under Section 215 to require adequate availability of large transformers to ensure the reliability of the bulk power infrastructure in the event of a physical or other attack with a geomagnetic storm. And I would like to cite just a very few words in a letter that was signed by some real national security experts, James Woolsey, Stephen Hadley, John Hamre, Rudy DeLeon, James Schlesinger, William Perry, and Willie Schneider, Jr. It's an official use only letter, so I cannot submit this letter to the record or read more than just a few words. They say together, we strongly endorse timely passage of this legislation in recognition that the electricity grid is a critical national security asset, the backbone of defense capability and modern civilization, and also in recognition that the grid is vulnerable. The letter goes on. We don't want a vulnerable grid. We as a society cannot live with a vulnerable grid. This bill corrects many of the flaws in what could otherwise be standard operating procedure. And again, I applaud and thank my chairman, Waxman, and Markey, and Ranking Member Barton, and all of the members of our committee who have spent many hours to address this situation with this legislation, and I reserve the balance of my time.
The gentleman reserves his time. The gentleman from Massachusetts.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I yield as much time as he may consume to the chairman of the Full Energy